and I'm really thankful for these 29 years that I've had so far. I'm looking forward to... Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. Guess what? I'm turning 30 tomorrow. It's my birthday. I've always loved my birthday, okay? Birthdays are a big deal in my family, but this one I'm especially excited for because I'm entering a new decade. Like 30 feels a little wild to me. I don't know. When I turned 20, I thought it was really cool. Turning 30, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm a full-on adult. Do you know what I mean? Today I wanted to sit down and do like a birthday inspired makeup and share with you guys 30 things that I've learned before I turned 30. I'm really excited actually. And you guys know I cannot celebrate my birthday by myself. So in celebration of turning 30, I'm gonna be sending 30 of you guys a package in the mail. Some of the packages may include some RAVIE Beauty, which is my beauty line, my absolute dream come true. Some of the packages may include my makeup bags, which I'm obsessed with, and I know you guys love too. I'm also gonna pack a bunch of boxes full of makeup, so obviously that's exciting too. So if you wanna receive a package from me in celebration of my 30th birthday, I'll have everything in the description box for you guys. I just thought it would be fun to spread a little bit of birthday love to you. Also, speaking of RAVIE Beauty, our team is expanding. We are growing and we are looking for an amazing social manager. So if you're interested, I figured I would tell you guys on my channel because I know you all are so talented. So if this seems like something you would enjoy, and if you want to join the RAVIE team with me, I will also put that in the description box with all the job details. Okay, let's get ready. I've got my notes here of 30 things I've learned before I turned 30, okay? Obviously, I've learned more than 30 things, but these are the things that came to my mind immediately. I feel like especially in the last decade, I've learned so much. I feel like I've gone through and experienced so much in my 20s and I've really stepped into myself, and I hope to do that more in my 30s, but let's get ready as I share 30 things, okay? The first thing that I learned, and honestly, a lot of these things I've learned more recently. There's a quote that I love and live by, and it is, "In stillness we receive." Oh my gosh, let me break it down for you a little bit. A lot of times when we're trying to accomplish a lot in our lives, do the most, you know, multitask, what have you, sometimes we just go nonstop. And even though we're moving, it feels like sometimes we're not moving forward. And I love that quote because it reminds me, and it is so true. When you want to speed things up in life, you've got to slow down, which seems so counterintuitive, but it's so true. Like if I want to progress in a certain way, I've got to slow down and give myself moments of quiet so that I can be able to think more clearly, become inspired, be able to process things. I mean, you name it. It really is so true to me. I've really learned that in stillness we receive. So anytime I feel like overwhelmed, things are really busy, and instead of like trying to move faster and faster to keep up, I like to remind myself to calm down and be still, create a moment of peace and stillness and silence. And it's insane how much comes to me and how much more I'm able to progress after giving myself some time to just chill. You know, it's so important. Number 2, motherhood is better than I imagined it would be, okay? This is something that I spent almost 30 years wondering about because, I don't know, even when I was younger, I always wondered like what my life would look like as an adult. And then as I approached the years where I felt like, okay, like I think I want to become a mom soon, there's just so much that comes with that, like so many unknowns, honestly. And you hear from everybody else about everyone else's experiences, and it's just hard to kind of know what to expect. And I'm here to tell you that motherhood is better than I expected. I always heard that it was good. I always heard that I'd probably enjoy it. But oh my gosh, now that I'm a mom, I love it. Like I find so much joy in being a mom. And it's kind of crazy that like there were times where I genuinely didn't know what my life would look like, especially being someone who has a couple of businesses. You know, I wasn't sure what my life would be like or how I would change as a person, like if I would change in a negative way, but it's only made me better. It's only made my life better. It has brought me so much joy, so much fulfillment, so much purpose. It's just better all around than anything I could have ever dreamed up in my life. I love it. I love it. I love it. Number 3, when you can truly be yourself in a relationship, that's when you know it's right. I spent my 20s, well, and some of my teenage years too, like dating and, you know, experiencing more romantic relationships. And I think this also applies to friendships in a way, but hindsight, I've realized that when it comes to relationships, especially, you know, romantic relationships, and obviously this is how I knew I should marry my husband, okay? I was able to be fully myself and feel so safe and seen and understood as my true self. And I honestly didn't know that I wasn't doing this until I met him because in my past relationships, and again, I didn't know this till I looked back on them, I honestly was like changing myself to fit that person's ideal relationship instead of just like being myself and being like, take it or leave it. Do you know what I mean? And again, I think this applies to friendships as well. I now can see with my really, really good friends, I can be fully myself. And when I'm fully myself, I feel understood, I feel seen, they understand maybe even small things like my sense of humor. It's just so important to be able to be yourself in a relationship and feel like the true version of you is seen. And that's when you know it's a good relationship. If you're trying to make tweaks at all and like changing who you really are for that person, you might want to take a second look. You know what I mean? That's just what I've learned. Number 4, be present, because that's all we can really control. I feel like I spent so much of my life worried about the future, or worse, worried about the past, which is like, what? Like, really can't do anything about the past. And if you're worried about the future, all you can do is focus on the present and create the future now, if that makes sense. Trying to be present, trying to stay focused, because really all we can control is the moment that we're in right now. And we can really only control ourselves. And this is still a work in progress for me, but I've learned that it's so much better for me to just only worry about what I'm able to do now. Not in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 years, 10 years. All I can do is focus on the present. And I feel like going back to lesson number 1, which is in stillness we receive, or like slowing down, I found that that idea has really allowed me to just be present, just slowing down, dropping everything and just being for a second, like just holding still. Then it just kind of realigns everything and your priorities start to align a little bit better. It's just been a really helpful thing that I'm still practicing. Obviously, I'm human, I'm not perfect, but it's a great way to remind myself if I'm finding myself feeling anxious or overthinking in any way. It's a great way to check myself and be like, okay, am I living in the present? Am I worrying about something that is in my control? And if it is in my control, let me do something toward that right now, today, even if it's small, but then that just kind of makes me feel better that I'm working towards something little by little in the present and not getting like completely derailed off of thinking about the future. The 5th thing I've learned is that I can do it all, just not all at once and not by myself, okay? This is something that I've learned recently, like super recently actually. If you didn't know, I started a beauty brand and had a baby at the same time. Basically, I was doing both at the same time, going through pregnancy, launching a brand, and it felt wild at times. And honestly, going into that process with both the brand and knowing I wanted to start a family, I was really overwhelmed and I was not sure how I was going to do all of it, you know, but I wanted to, and I felt like it was my purpose to do both, and it just so happened to land at the same time. I think also I took on some fears of those around me who would just like ask questions about how my life was gonna look, you know, after having a baby. And what I've realized is not only am I doing it all, it's so possible, but what's not possible is putting all of the pressure on yourself. This is where it's really important to realize that you gotta prioritize things depending on what needs the most attention. So you cannot do everything all at once. You're only one person, so I learned to kind of like change my hats and try to focus on one thing at a time, but then also not doing it all by myself. Luckily, I have a husband who supported me so thoroughly from the beginning with editing my videos, for example. But I've learned through our businesses that we have that other people are so important. Like having talented people that can help you in whatever way feels helpful to you is so key. I just wanted to make sure to mention that one because there were times where I wasn't sure how things would turn out for me. I'm feeling now that I'm literally in it, that accomplishing everything you want to is so possible. It just might not be all at once. And then also building the right support system around you with people that capture your same vision and have the same drive for life, the same passions and interests as you that can help you along the way is so important. I have grown to really appreciate the talents of other people and how teamwork really is so important, even with my husband and I, because I feel like I'm able to offer things to the table that come very naturally to me that maybe he doesn't feel like he's as naturally good at, and vice versa. Like he's able to bring perspectives, ideas, talents, and gifts to the table that I don't have an interest in doing, first of all, and I feel like maybe I wouldn't be as good at it as he is. And I feel like together as a team, we've built so much, and now with our brands, we're growing our teams outside of that, and it's taught me that I love people. I love talented people. And it's been really fun to learn how to work with people and how much better my life is when I'm able to be taught by other talented people. Does that make sense? Number 6, life goes through seasons. Things change, and that's okay. It's normal. I look back on my 30 years of life, and it's so crazy how my interests, my focus has changed. The person that I am has changed, and there's been like blocks and seasons of my life up until this point, and I'm expecting the same thing, down the road as well, where like it's okay to shift a little bit. It's okay to change a career path. It's okay to, dabble in other interests or, go down one path for a little while and realize maybe this isn't for me and choose another option. I feel like so often we're stuck, or we feel stuck in choosing just one thing to do for the rest of our lives, but that's a lot of pressure on us, okay? Because I don't know about you, but my interest as a 12-year-old has definitely changed now that I'm 30, and so it's kind of unrealistic to expect ourselves to stick to one specific thing, even though we all carry interests throughout our lives, and there might be some that stay more consistent than others, but there are seasons, and it's normal, and it's okay to adapt and change depending on the person that you become or the person that you are becoming, Number 7, it's okay not to be okay. There are some days where you just gotta let yourself feel sad. If you're feeling it, sometimes you just gotta let yourself have permission to feel not okay, because that's life. And I feel like it's so much worse to pretend that you're fine and just push through. I've just learned that it's so much better for me to just let myself not be okay sometimes. And I find that when I give myself that permission, I'm usually able to move forward a lot more quickly than if I just keep suppressing and bottling down those feelings. Yeah, we're all human. It's okay not to be okay. Number 8, say no. This is something that I just learned very recently, that it's okay for me to say no. And also, one time, a quote that changed my life is no is a complete answer. Because a lot of times when I was first learning how to say no, when it was things that I didn't want to do, or things that just didn't fit my goals at the moment, whatever it was, I would still catch myself trying to explain why I was going to say no, even if it was simply like, I don't feel like it. And I'm realizing that you can just say no and you don't have to explain yourself. Isn't that something? Say no. Say no to stuff. We all sign up for way too much, and we know it because we don't say no enough. But I've learned recently how to say no, and boy, has it changed my life. Sometimes it doesn't feel easy. I'm so much better off just saying no sometimes, and in your gut when you should be saying no and you don't. I'm saying it like that because I've done it way too many times where I just overcommit. We all know how that is, right? Anyway, say no. Number 9, I mentioned in a video a while back. This is something that I had an epiphany a few months ago. The words came to my mind and I was like, you're kidding me. That's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. I don't know what guardian angel of mine put those words in my mind, but it has helped me so much. And the phrase is, people don't need to be happy with me in order for me to be happy. I mentioned this in the video where I talked about this before. As a chronic people pleaser, I 9 times out of 10 am more concerned about other people's happiness than my own, which really does not serve me, in most cases. And a lot of times, if I could sense that somebody wasn't happy with me in one way or another, I would not allow myself to move forward waiting for somebody else's approval. But I realized that I can't change somebody else, and I can't change the way somebody chooses to perceive me, especially if I've moved from a place of love. And if I've tried to be understanding or whatever, I've just learned that I don't need to wait around for everyone to approve of me for me to move on with my life and just be happy. I don't know, that was a big one for me. That's a lesson that came much more recently than some of these other ones, but that one low-key changed my life. Number 10, sleep. Sleep, 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 okay? I used to pride myself in how well I could function off of a little amount of sleep in my teenage years and in my 20s. And one time, I remember my husband and I, have any of you guys heard of The Miracle Morning? Where the whole book basically, and honestly, this guy was really inspiring. But anyway, we read his book and the whole idea was no, you don't actually need sleep. Sleep is a mindset. So it was trying to overcome this idea that your body doesn't need sleep. Anyway, there's more to it than that, but the point is, I remember myself sitting on my couch completely exhausted, getting 5 hours of sleep and just being no, I don't need sleep. Well, I've learned more recently that I absolutely do because I'm human. Like I said, I used to pride myself in how little sleep I could get and how I could function because I used to feel like I was lazy if I slept in or prioritized my sleep. Honestly, I feel like my husband has taught me this. He's always been very good at prioritizing his sleep. Like, he really goes out of his way to make sure he's getting good sleep, sets up his sleep environment really well. Like, we've got everything now. We've got like sound machines. We've got blackout curtains, magnesium, you name it. We've got it. And it really has made such a difference because I've realized that like that's the only time your body gets to repair and heal. And it's so important for your overall well-being and your mental health, all of it. When I first had my baby, as I'm sure a lot of you guys also know how this is, when you first bring a newborn home, the sleep deprivation is real. And it got to the point where like I wasn't getting hardly any sleep. And I was literally, it was almost like I was hallucinating because I had so little sleep. And I'm not saying you need to go through something this extreme to realize the importance of sleep, but it sure did make me grateful, and it helped me prioritize sleep even more when my baby was here. So the point is, get your sleep, okay? Just get a good sleep. It really does so many good things for you. Number 11, gut health is health. And I'm not going to go too much in depth on this because I feel like I could literally write a novel on how much I'm obsessed with all things gut health. But, you know, over the past decade, I would say, I've gone through several different health things, just trying to figure out my body and my skin. I struggle with acne. The moral of the whole story that I've learned so far is like my gut health is my health. Everything happens in the gut. So prioritizing that for me has really changed my life and changed my skin, to be honest. Like I'm trying not to go in depth, even though I'm so like geeky about this, but just gut health is health. It's everything. I feel like everything that I've ever dealt with health-wise has all stemmed back to my gut health in one way or another. Number 12, have fun. Just make things fun. We all have, tasks we have to do in life, and I'm realizing the importance of just having a good time while doing it. You might not initially love doing the dishes or taking the trash out or cleaning your room, doing laundry, whatever it is, those little mundane tasks that we always do, but finding a way to make it fun, if that's like playing music or, I don't know, like playing a show in the background, I don't know, making a game out of something, just making things fun and setting up your environment to have fun is really important to making those more mundane tasks feel super rewarding. Number 13, you don't have to have all the answers in order to start something. I feel like a lot of times we wait for the perfect time to start something, and I've learned that like there is no perfect time. You just gotta start whatever it is. You're not gonna have all the info up front, but that's okay. Like, don't wait around for the perfect moment. Just start whatever it is, even if it's a little sloppy at first. You'll get your groove as you go. Number 14, don't make decisions out of fear. This has been a big one for me, and this especially as a people pleaser. Like I mentioned before, I feel like a lot of my decisions in the past were made off of fear, like fear of what somebody else would think of me, fear of if I were even capable of doing it or not, making certain decisions, while running a business, like whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that you can't be like self-aware in your decisions and like really take your time, reviewing the pros and cons. But if you're making an important decision and you're only making the decision out of fear, I feel like it's important to really check yourself and be like, okay, what am I afraid of here? And make sure that the decision is made based off of what you really want, not what you're afraid of. Number 15, paint your nails. That's what I've learned. I don't know. I just really enjoy the time that I'm able to take. I paint my nails at home. So this could be, baking for some people. There's a lot of different things. Doing your makeup is obviously another one for me, but painting my nails really helps me feel artistic and creative in a way that feels outside of what I'm used to when it comes to makeup. It also helps me feel put together when I'm not wearing any makeup and I'm just in sweats. When my nails are done, I feel really good. Number 16, invest in a skincare routine. Oh my gosh, I've really learned that over the past maybe 5 years specifically. I did not really have a skincare routine in much of my teenage years and even my early 20s. But now it's such a priority for me, and I've really noticed a huge change in my skin. I feel like my skin's in a really good spot right now, and I've learned that skincare is so important. Plus, it gives you an excuse to take care of yourself and kind of have a little you time, which is important as well. Number 17 is listen to your body. This is one that I am still working on, especially after becoming a mom. It's so easy to be very aware of everyone else's needs and know exactly what to do for each of those people, especially my baby, like I know exactly when she's hungry or tired, but I don't pay attention to when I'm hungry or tired. You know what I mean? So listening to your body is really important, and that's where the moments of silence are really important, to like tune into yourself and be like, am I tired? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? These are basic things that I feel like I often overlook just because I'm so busy. But when I do take care of myself first, I'm able to give more to everyone else that I love. So it's important to listen to your body, listen to yourself, and adapt your life according to the signals that your body's giving you. Number 18 is give what you want to receive. I love this. I think it's a quote. I don't know who really said it, but give what you want to receive. Oh my gosh. This is something that I've lived by recently. Let's say you're hoping to receive more friendships in your life. Then you would want to give the energy of friendship to those around you. Or maybe you're a small creator and you want to gain a following and you want to feel support from people online. Then you would give that support to other small creators online. I really feel like that's so important, and I feel like it's just such a great way to attract exactly what you want in your life is by being that energetically even toward the people around you, and it just comes back. Give what you want to receive. I love that one. I really do live by that. Number 19, buy the experience or the memory. If I've learned anything over the past decade, and honestly through my childhood as well, I don't remember the things that I had as much as I remember the experiences that I had. And so for me and my husband especially, we love to prioritize experiences like booking trips, going to concerts, museums, I don't know, whatever it is, like just buy the experience, buy the memory, whatever it is that's going to create a memory, it is worth every penny to me. I feel like that's what I've learned is just like the memories, the experiences are worth spending money on. And for me, the food. But some people may disagree with that. Some people feel like it might not be worth it to buy food, but I love spending money on food because to me, food is memories. Isn't that a quote from The 100-Foot Journey? That's one of my favorite movies. Food is memories. It's just worth it to create those memories in this life. If there's an experience that you're wanting to have, a place you're wanting to go, prioritizing that really is so worth it. Number 20, the best way to learn something is to experience it. There is nothing that gives you more of a deep understanding and lesson, and nothing that can create you into an expert more than the actual experience. So if it comes to business, for example, I could have read up every blog on how to start a business, but it wasn't until I was in it, making products, seeing how things go in real time, that I was able to really get a grasp of what it feels like and what it is like to do these things. Same goes for motherhood. I read as much as I possibly could about pregnancy, about birth, about being a mom. And while of course those things are helpful and it becomes a part of your toolbox going into it, there's nothing that's going to teach you more than just experiencing that yourself in real time. Lesson number 21, everything is temporary. Literally everything. Sometimes this is something that really helps me be able to just let go of my worries or be able to like enjoy the moment a little bit more. I feel like this has been especially the case becoming a mom as well. In those early stages where I wasn't getting very much sleep, reminding myself that it was temporary, even though it didn't feel temporary at the time, was really helpful for me to just be present. And it really did just fly by way faster than I could have ever expected. So I feel like just reminding myself that everything is temporary helps take away some of the stress and also allows me to be more present and not get so caught up in the little frustrations of something that maybe one day I'll miss, like that newborn stage, you know what I mean? Number 22, this is one of my favorites. Hard does not mean bad. This took me a long time to figure out. I feel like so often, and again, I feel like businesses and babies really taught me a lot. And I feel like sometimes it's easy to get confused when something feels difficult and challenging. It's easy to get down on yourself like it's bad, but actually it doesn't mean that. And I've learned that you can actually have both feelings at once. Like you can feel a little overwhelmed as you're learning something and experience a lot of fulfillment and joy at the same exact time. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's funny because I feel like this makes sense for some categories in our life, like a hard workout, for example. Like if you're exercising and you're sweating and your knees are buckling and you're shaking because it's hard, but you're not like, oh no, this is bad for me, are you? No, we all know that like that is what's going to make us stronger. And so there's just been some things in my life that I've learned that just because it's hard at times or like difficult or challenging or requires a lot of focus and effort and consistency, it doesn't mean it's bad. That's something that I really had to figure out because I used to think that something must be wrong if I'm feeling this way, but in reality, that's how we grow. That's literally what it means to progress in any way. You're going to feel growing pains. And it does not mean it's bad. Number 23, simplify. Less really is more sometimes. I feel like we all know this. We've heard this said before, but I still have to remind myself, and I still have to ask myself, like, if I feel overwhelmed, what can I give up? How can I make this more simple? Am I overcomplicating things on accident without even knowing? You know what I mean? Simplicity is so key in so many areas of our life. Number 24 is you're more capable than you think. This is something else that I feel like came with business and motherhood. Before I went into either of those things, it's easy to like picture the full thing and entering into a world where like you're gonna have to deal with X, Y, and Z. But the reality is you learn everything in very small steps, one thing at a time. And once I realized that I was capable of way more than I thought. And it actually wasn't as overwhelming as I thought. I feel like honestly, my baby taught this to me as well. Before I had her, it was easy for me to be like, oh no, what am I going to do when she's a toddler? Or what am I going to do when she has to go to school? You know what I mean? Like I start like thinking about the full picture or like how to get her to college. I don't know, just all the things. And it's like, hold on. All I have to worry about is the present moment, one day at a time. It's so much less pressure to think about it that way. And you grow and learn together, and it's so much more of a process than what it feels like when you're just seeing it from the outside. Anyway, I really feel like I have learned that I'm more capable than I thought I was, and you take things 1 minute at a time. Like I don't need to be worried about what it might be like to have this many kids and this many businesses in 10 years. I just gotta worry about the present moment, you know? Number 25, take advice from people that you want to be like, people that inspire you. I feel like oftentimes it's easy to accidentally take on other people's advice, even if it's from somebody you love, and you just kind of like take their word for it. But more recently, I've asked myself when it comes to advice, and this could be from someone in person, or maybe you hear about something on a podcast or whatever, ask yourself, is this person somebody that I want to become more like? If the answer is yes, then I think it's great advice to take in and use in your own life. But if the answer is no, like if you don't really want the life that somebody has, or if you're not necessarily inspired by the way that they operate their life, you don't need to take their advice, you know? Just take it with a grain of salt and keep moving on. Number 26, be good at keeping secrets. This is something that I feel like I've learned, and it's something that I really value, and it's something that I hope that people feel safe when they can talk to me. Like if somebody comes to you with something personal that they don't want shared, don't share it. Like really practice keeping that to yourself and being trustworthy. I just think it's one of the most important attributes to have in a friendship or in a relationship, is to just feel like you are a safe place for people. It's something that I always strive to do. I hope that I am that person for as many people as possible. I hope that they know, like, when they tell me something, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's not my story to share. Sometimes I feel like it's a lost skill, you know, to be able to keep people's information or things that they shared in secrecy with you a secret. And I've also learned to be this for myself as well, like to make sure that I'm keeping myself safe in a way where I'm not oversharing things that I don't want to be shared to other people. Does that make sense? Like, of course I have my really close friends and my husband, of course, that I feel like I can tell anything to. But a lot of times I realize that like it's important to protect myself in that way as well and not overshare something before I'm ready. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me, being trustworthy is like one of the most important things in this life. And I hope that I'm able to like be that for people forever and ever and ever, and like be known for that. I really do value that so much. I didn't realize how much I valued that until I feel like the past few years. It's just so important to me. Number 27, self-care is not selfish, okay? We all have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so that we can be our best selves and take care of those we love around us. Make time for yourself to take care of you. I promise you and everyone around you will be much better for it. Number 28, you don't have to earn happiness. I feel like a lot of us are kind of taught or trained in society that like we have to really suffer in order to earn happiness or success, which is not really the case. You can enjoy the process of whatever it is that you're doing, and you don't have to be miserable before you can earn happiness. Of course, things require hard work, dedication, commitment, whatever, in order to like be successful or whatever it is. But I feel like a lot of times we think that we can't enjoy that process. I don't know. I found that for myself, at least. There was a while there where I believed that like I was better off if I was miserable because it meant that like I must be like really being refined, you know, to become a better person. But I realized that like life refines you already, okay? Like the things we go through in life is enough shaping, I feel, for me. So I don't need to like withhold my own happiness or feel like I need to suffer first in order to earn it. I need to just allow myself to be happy as frequently as possible because life is going to teach you those other lessons. You don't have to teach yourself. Number 29, it's never too late. I feel like a lot of times we feel like, oh, I wish I would have done that when I was this age, or oh, I should have started that 10 years ago, whatever it is. It's never too late. Like if you have a dream or a passion, start today. Like genuinely, I know that's such a cliche phrase, but I feel like it's so true. It's just never too late. Number 30, last but not least, dreams come true. If I've learned anything in my past 30 years of living and breathing on this planet, it is that dreams come true. I look back at the past 3 decades, mostly the past decade from my 20s to 30s, and it's just incredible for me to see all of my dreams coming to fruition and I'm living them right now. I think that's just absolutely insane. I feel like it's so important to remind ourselves that dreams really do come true. Like you can hang on to those dreams of yours that you have and keep working toward them. Again, it's never too late to start something. If you felt a pull to do something, it's a real thing. I feel very like Disney saying that, like dreams really come true, but it's like, it's for real. It really happens. Like I'm sitting here surrounded by, here I go, like my literal dream, not just to be in a beauty room where I'm able to do this every day for a living, surrounded by my lipsticks that I created myself. Don't get me started on that. It's like, it's insane. This is one of my biggest dreams of my life. I can't believe I'm sitting here at 30, well, almost 30 when I'm filming this, but I'm turning 30, and being able to say that. And then I've got like my house and my little town and my husband and my baby running around upstairs. Like what? Like dreams really, really do actually come true. And I'm really thankful for these 29 years that I've had so far. I'm looking forward to the next 30 years as well. Like just thank you guys so much for allowing my dreams to come true. It's just been so incredible. I'm really looking forward to my 30s. I feel like I learned so much, especially in my 20s. I've grown so much happened in my 20s, really. Like I got married, I had a family, like I started businesses, I started making makeup for heaven's sake. So much happened in my 20s and I'm really looking forward to my 30s. I feel like it's just gonna be a really exciting decade. I know I talked your ear off today sharing 30 things that I've learned, but I know so many of you guys are much wiser than me. I would love to hear from you guys some advice that you feel would be helpful for me, maybe going into my 30s, or just any life advice that you feel like has changed your life. I love hearing from you guys, so please leave a comment down below sharing some advice with me. I especially love hearing from my more mature audience, so all of you who are like 50 and up. I love getting comments from you, and I know you have so much wisdom and life experience. So to you especially, who could help lead and guide the rest of us, I would love for you to leave a comment letting us know some of the things that you've learned in the past years of your own life. I really, really am looking forward to reading through all of your comments. Again, if you want to enter this little special 30th birthday giveaway situation, I will have everything in the description box down below. If you want to join the RAVIE team, I will have that job description listed for you down below as well. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so and like this video. It really helps my channel out, and I have a goal of reaching 1 million subscribers this year. I'm really hopeful that it will happen, and I think it will, but I need your help, so subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, that's it for me today. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my face, I know this is more of a chatty video, but I'll have everything linked for you down below. Thanks for sitting here with me and chatting with me, or rather listening to me chat your ear off about 30 things that I've learned before turning 30. I really feel like some of those things that I shared, although, you know, obviously I've learned a lot of things, those are some of the things that came to mind as like the most pivotal lessons that I've learned so far. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope, you know, some of you are able to take some of those things that have changed my life, and hopefully they inspire you the way that they've inspired me over the past few years or several years. So yeah, here we go. 30 years old, new decade. I feel like that's such a big deal. I don't know, for some reason this birthday feels really big to me. Like it feels like quite a milestone, you know? I love you all so much. I hope you all have an incredible day wherever you are. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in my next video. Love you.